Welcome to this week's podcast, joined by Dan today, Mechanic Dan. We've got loads to talk about mountain bike stuff today, so thanks for joining us, Dan.
Stuff.
So the three main subjects for today, very quickly, just want to cover off a couple of things from our latest video where we took a look at Hambini's wheel test, no big deal on that. And then the new SRAM Force group set, hallelujah, at last there's some sort of details, even though they're leaked pictures. And then finally, while you're in here, is this Gates drive, the belted purse from Gates, pinion gearboxes, and the whole chat that we've been having about the future of mountain biking, I guess.
Yeah, exciting stuff coming up and downhill, and hopefully the wider world of mountain biking.
It does feel like a new dawn is, like a new era is coming. So very quickly then, the wheel test. First of all, thanks to anyone that watched it, added their comments. That video was really made to just spark debate, and my God, did it spark debate. I want to get that discussion moving because I think it's a really positive and important thing to have done. So thanks for everyone engaged with it. A couple of interesting points. Peak Talk mentioned about spokes. He thinks he's come across ones that are 140 kilograms of force rated. We have never seen anything. I've never come across it. I asked if he could post some links to it. If you guys have come across any carbon spokes which have a recommended rating of 140 kilograms of force or above, please link us. I really, really want to check them out. I've got no idea how you would turn a nut tight enough to do that without a sort of a hydraulic press.
Yeah, I'll try and like get an impact with a nipple driver on or something.
Yeah, you'd have to sort of like compress the wheel somehow. Anyway. And Joe from China Cycling mentioned how we measure the internal width. So you're right, when you look at manufacturers, they'll often quote it from the inside of the hook. I don't know if you'll be able to see on this. And you don't measure the inside channel. What we do here as bike shops is quite often we'll have warranty problems. So we'll have a tyre that doesn't seat properly, and we'll try and change the tyre. And we've got to look for the problem as to why it needs warranting, and then justify that to the manufacturer. So the last time it happened to me was with Cannondale hologram wheels, and there was just like a big lump, if you like, on the inside. And once we measured it, we could send that off to warranty and stuff. So hopefully that answers those questions. Other than that, interesting video. So SRAM Force group set.
Yeah.
It's we fit quite a lot of these, don't we, actually, on our custom builds?
Yeah, it's probably the most common groups that I've seen.
And I think, I mean, when we did the SRAM Red video, we were like, come on, as soon as they get this out to force, that's what we're all waiting for, isn't it? Those levers are incredible. I think they're, without doubt, the best shaped lever on the market right now. It's like, come on, finally a decent, they're still going to be expensive, but a more reasonable.
Yeah, hopefully less than the, how much, £4,000 that the Red is.
Yeah, so no ideas on prices yet, but we're excited by that. It looks like they've got the bonus button, which I think is going to be important, especially for like things like dropper posts and
and linking to that Karoo that they're still packaging it with.
They're still pushing that. Interestingly, the brake calipers, you spotted this, they look like the same moulding, but they just haven't had the machining to make them as light.
Yeah, I don't know if you're familiar with like the red ones. You've got like the holes either side of the piston. They're just, you can see like indents there almost, but there's no holes there, there's material. So
yeah, it looks like they're more raw out of the casting and haven't had so much time in a CNC machine to finish them off. And the charger still looks like it's micro USB. Yeah. Still haven't gone to USB-C.
No.
That's good. I would go to
that might be their AXS 2 battery if they are.
Yeah, I think it's one of the things, they need to roll it out as soon as possible. I think they've got a massive advantage with the shape of those levers over Shimano. One, because you can use them for lots of different riding positions in gravel and road. There's no different things. I just wish they'd sort of hurry up and roll it out almost to rival, etc. So come on, SRAM. Okay, belt drives. So what sparked today's podcast was the announcement by a company called Gates. You probably might not be familiar, but Gates make belt drives for lots of industries, don't they?
Yeah, if you go on their website, that industry thing is massive, from like heavy diesel, agriculture, marine, and then like micro mobility is like a little thing down the bottom, which is their what they call bicycles. And
they have dipped their toe in cycling before. We've had a couple here on touring type bikes. Yeah. But they've come out and offered £100,000 cash prize. I think it's a pound. No,
100,000 euros.
100,000 euros cash prize to the first rider that can win a UCI downhill World Cup race.
Elite level.
Elite level.
No juniors.
Yeah, that's That's appealing, especially in the current climate of sponsorship.
Yeah, and for sort of context for the money, that's equivalent to just over 27 World Cup wins.
So that's a tasty thing. I wonder. Thing is, there'll be certain riders who can't join in because they're under contract with SRAM, Shimano, or etc. So there's going to be a few people that have got can't even participate. But there's some good riders signed up.
So there's 4 teams that will be riding on with Gates next year. You've got MS, Atherton, Intense, and a new one, Anon Racing, set up by Reece Wilson, who won the 2020 World Champs. And then he's bought Hattie Harnden over from Trek, who is, she's won everything there is to win at national level. And she's got 2 Enduro World Series overalls and an Enduro World Champs as well.
It's not male or female, is it? This is like World Cup, that's like anything, isn't it? So that could be one of the biggest prize purses ever gone to a female racer, potentially.
Yeah, 100%. It'll be biggest gone to a male as well, I think, for downhill, certainly in recent times.
It's an incredibly generous offer, and you wonder what Gates are going to benefit from this. Downhill is still a relatively small sport.
Yeah, so it's the biggest, it's like the Formula One of mountain biking, everyone says. But then in terms of like sports as a whole, like certainly it's minuscule compared to road racing.
Yeah, the people that are going to then, the whole philosophy of win on Sunday, buy on Monday, isn't necessarily true. Because I can't see a massive amount of money being made from downhill. But do you think this is a precursor to then rolling it out onto other not downhill disciplines, more popular disciplines maybe?
Yeah. So you got like enduro at B. There have been bikes in the past like the Zero, Tanifan, Katapo. Deviate had one as well way back. They had the Guide, which is made as like their ultimate guide bike for those out in the Alps that just want a zero maintenance. And
that's really where I've come across it, is those people who just do monster miles and just want it to be quiet and reliable. And I guess you probably could make a big shout. If you're reliable enough to win a World Cup downhill, you're probably reliable enough to
pretty handy on a bike if you can.
To be done in some massive endurance event.
Yeah.
So what do you think is the advantage to using a belt drive in downhill?
I think the advantage is not necessarily for the belt drive, it's the gearbox is the advantage. So I don't know if you've watched the Atherton racing video. They did like a 20-minute launch video for their new bike. They had Charlie Hatton riding it around Dovey and saying how silent the belt was, which is a benefit of that. But with the gearbox, the weight where it is, they'd already been putting 500-600 grams worth of lead around the bottom bracket. So
that's a lot of weight, isn't it?
A gearbox.
Yeah.
Near enough, and then it's just taking all that weight off the rear. So you just track the ground so much better.
Yeah, I've ridden a couple of gearbox bikes, and they do ride phenomenally well. Yeah. And I think if I would definitely want to put that up there in my buying choice of buying a new mountain bike, will be one with a pinion gearbox.
Yeah, I think especially now you've got the smart shift as well. You gets rid of the somewhat clunky twist shift that they have had in the past, and now you just got like a normal shifter.
Yeah, and of course Dave, who used to be the mechanic here, has got one now on drop bar shifters as well.
Yes, so the TRP lever.
It's moving so fast. It's I can really see why that gearbox is going to be really, really popular.
Yeah.
Obviously, we saw it a long time ago. The Yamaha,
the Honda. It was.
The Honda. Yeah, the Honda secret box, which turned out to be a bit of an anticlimax, wasn't it?
That had 5 wins.
Yeah.
With Greg Minnaar riding it. So it's like gearboxes aren't completely new to downhill, but Gates have got this big old effort to push the Gates.
So here's
push the belt drive. Sorry.
My thoughts on it are: I think this is definitely going to be the way forward. A long time ago, I did a podcast around the new year. I think it was 2 years ago when I predicted that we're going to see an awful lot more gearbox type things. But what do you think, in your opinion, would come first? A 13 or 14 speed rear derailleur, or would we see SRAM get into the gearbox game?
I mean, a gearbox would be, in my mind, the smart choice, because there's no one crying out for an extra gear on their transmission now. There's no one who's bought that and gone, I wish I had a bigger ring or somewhere in the middle. But then I think it would take a lot for SRAM to abandon the cassette and go over to the gearbox.
Yeah, I have to say, if I was an employee of SRAM right now, looking at our development and looking at where the industry is going, I'd be looking at that massive T-type rear derailleur, how big it is and how big cassettes are getting, and looking at this and thinking, guys, maybe we're on the wrong path here.
It's a big old chunk of just stuff, that transmission. And while they have all the demos of kicking it and standing on it, if it's not there, it can't be broken.
Yeah, where do they go next?
Yeah.
You can't just go bigger again. It's already like massive, isn't it? So,
But interesting with the gates, you don't have to run a pinion gearbox. All the teams are, but that's not like in the rules. You could run an FE gear, which fits the same mount, so that's already like standardized, those 6 bolts.
Yeah, there's a few options, isn't there? It's I'm looking forward to it. I think that's going to really spice things up. If I was a racer on one of those, I would be motivated to win that much money. That's for sure.
A few other riders have come really close, like Millie Onset got second last year.
Yeah.
And she's on a new team this year with Intense Factory Racing. I think if she can keep herself from crashing, she can do a pretty... I reckon she's got a win in her and get that 100 grand.
I would love it if it goes to a women's racer.
Yeah.
I would love it. I'd love it because I think that's going to get an awful lot of media attention. To see that sort of a prize purse in women's cycling would be incredible. I'm almost willing that to happen, to be completely honest. Just quickly on the Atherton, because I look very lustfully on that. I saw the Atherton bikes at Bespoke and got a good look at them there. I do like those bikes.
Yeah, I've had a look around a few, and they've got them like on plinths in Dovey Bike Park.
Yeah,
and
it's fantastic. They're such a progressive company. It's brilliant to see that they're right on board with the whole pinion gearbox, the belt drive. That's very, very exciting. And I think they'll do an e-bike version as well.
It'd be worth to put the battery in one of them. But yeah, once because their whole thing is like the wound tubes as well. But yeah, it's sort of a no-brainer, isn't it, to go from
an Atherton e-bike. Now we're talking. Yeah, I think it'll be a very, very appealing thing to see.
Yeah, there is that little cutout on the aluminium one. I don't know if that's planned for in the future. They can integrate a screen into there for an e-bike, or if it's...
They've got to be thinking about it, because we've sort of seen the market in mountain biking really dry up, and nearly most of the people that we speak to are buying mountain bikes now, going e-mountain bike.
Yeah, a lot of them are
spending like the bigger money on it, are definitely going to e-mountain. And who can blame them? It's an awful lot of fun.
Yeah.
It does make you wonder where traditional mountain biking is, what's left, if you like. And I was thinking, what would it take for this technology to leave that downhill and enduro market and get into cross-country, gravel, God forbid, road?
Yeah.
Like how much would the technology have to move for that to happen?
You'd need them a lot lighter and a lot less drag for the road guys to not whinge at the current weight and drag that they've got.
Yeah.
But gravel, you've got them for like big long distance, like you can get Surleys and
definitely
those
seen
kinds of
like
bikes.
adventure gravel type bikes with them. Yeah, I think for me that the casing is definitely a place you could lose some weight.
Yeah.
They've got a magnesium casing, haven't they?
Which is about a third lighter than their previous aluminium casing.
And do you reckon you could do a carbon case?
I think if you did like aluminium side with like a carbon bit in the middle,
definitely be possible.
Yeah.
I'd love to see where that's going.
And I don't know if you could strip weight out the gears as well.
That's going to be fairly heavy, because at the moment there must be steel, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
That's probably where their biggest challenge is.
That's where the weight's going to be.
And then, I mean, they must have the similar sort of problem to the classified rear hub with just in terms of drag, in terms of like friction, etc.
Because always be spinning all the gears in oil.
Yeah.
There's not really a way around that.
No, and it's hard, because I think now the modern drivetrains and road bikes have got so good, with ceramic bearings and wax chains, and the sprockets have all been designed so well. Like you can just do with the lightest of touch now, turn them, and there's hardly any drag in there. I can't imagine a time when they could really get to that same level.
Yeah, if it is, I think it's a wee way off, but Yeah, the mountain and mud and dirt is where your gearbox is most at home. You're just not getting any wear on it. And,
I think you're right. The maintenance on them is so easy. It's literally it's like doing an oil change on a car.
Yeah.
You drain all the oil out and you basically put new oil in. And that's about it, isn't it? I've never actually had to do any more maintenance on them than that ever. It's just a case of, I've done the oil change. Here you go. That was easy.
Check over your belt every now and then, make sure there's no damage to it, and then
I'm excited. I think mountain biking needs this. I think mountain biking has got a bad reputation for destroying parts and becoming expensive. And I think this has potentially, if they can get the price down, make it more available, have the ability that a mountain bike is more of an investment, that it doesn't need that level of like servicing. And I think that's what puts people off now, is like the 50-hour fork servicing. And you get through a chain and a bottom bracket every few rides and stuff.
I know I've had friends in New Zealand who had zeros with chains on, and then the chain lasts a year on that because it's not going side to side across a cassette. So even if you don't fancy the belt and want a chain, that's going to last you a hell of a lot longer. Than,
no cross chaining. Chain life's going to be better. The whole work. I think, I really do think it's going to be needed. Well, I guess all we can do is wait and see.
Yeah, let's see who wins that. When's that 100 grand first?
I'm so excited. I can't wait to report on that. Brilliant. That's all from us. Please get your comments down below. We're really looking forward to hearing your thoughts and opinions. Who do you think is going to walk away with that €100,000 prize purse for that Gates belted drive? Get your answers down below. We'll see who's right. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you on the next one. Cheers.
See ya.